Okay, let's be real. After all the hype and all the craziness, the crypto industry is at a crossroads. The market is finally demanding real-world use cases, and investors, well, they're looking for projects that have a clear plan for the future. Today, we're going to break down a 2025 roadmap that's built to tackle the three biggest hurdles to mass adoption: privacy, scalability, and security.
So what's really stopping crypto from becoming a part of our everyday lives? This whole roadmap is designed around answering that question by solving three core challenges. We're going to dive into each problem and explore the really clever solutions being built to fix them.
All right, first up, privacy. And this one is a real balancing act. I mean, how do you create privacy tools that are super easy for anyone to use, but also keep the regulators happy? Let's see how this plan pulls it off.
And here's the core of the problem. You've got mainstream users who are just totally turned off by how complicated everything is. At the same time, you have big institutional investors who are nervous about all the regulatory question marks. It's a classic catch-22, right? You can't get the big money without more users, and you can't get the users without a system that's way simpler and plays by the rules.
The solution starts with making things radically simpler. Just look at this. On the left, you've got the old way, a jumbled mess of numbers and letters that's impossible to remember and super easy to mess up. And on the right, the new way, a simple, human-readable name. This is way more than just a nice new look. It's a huge leap forward for usability.
So how does this work? It's a feature called Spark Names. And really, it works just like an email address or your social media handle. Instead of copying and pasting that long string of random characters, you can send crypto to something as easy as Spark Jane.do. It just makes the whole thing feel so much more intuitive.
Now, to tackle the compliance side, there's another brilliant feature called View Keys. Think of it like giving your accountant read-only access to your bank account. They can see all your transactions for auditing or tax purposes, but, and this is the important part, they can't touch or move any of your funds. This gives regulators the transparency they're looking for without you ever giving up control.
For investors, this is an absolute game changer. This two-part solution knocks down both the user experience and the regulatory hurdles in one go. Suddenly, there's a clear path for that big institutional money to flow into the space, and it allows these privacy-focused projects to grow in a way that's fully compliant.
Okay, so we've got user-friendly privacy and a path to compliance. Now, the roadmap shifts focus to the next massive challenge: decentralized finance, or DeFi. The big goal here is to build a private, secure trading ecosystem where you don't have to broadcast your entire financial life to the world.
Right now, almost all of DeFi operates on public blockchains. You know what that's like? It's like trading stocks inside a glass box. Everyone can see your every single move. For any serious financial player, that total lack of privacy is a non-starter. So, what's the fix?
Well, the solution begins with something called Spark Assets. This is a technology that lets you create private versions of pretty much any digital asset. We're talking tokens, stablecoins, even NFTs. Then, all of these private assets get traded inside what's called an anonymity pool, which basically jumbles up all the transactions, making it impossible to see the details of anyone's trade.
And to trade these new private assets, there's a tool called SparkSwap. It uses something called atomic swaps, which are basically direct wallet-to-wallet trades. They happen at the exact same time, so there's zero risk that one person sends their funds and doesn't get anything back. This peer-to-peer system seriously boosts privacy and even protects you from predatory traders trying to get ahead of your moves.
You know, this isn't just about adding a layer of privacy on top of the old system. It's a completely different way of thinking. As one source puts it, it's about building a new financial system where, quote, privacy is not an afterthought but a core feature.
So, we've got easy-to-use privacy and a way to do DeFi privately. That's huge. But for this to be a real, long-term solution, the technology underneath it all has to be fast, cheap, and secure against future threats. And that brings us to the final, critical piece of the roadmap: future-proofing the entire network.
And there are two massive challenges here. First, how do you handle all the extra data that comes with these powerful privacy features without grinding the network to a halt? And second, how in the world do you protect the blockchain from the future threat of quantum computers, machines so powerful they could break the encryption we use today?
The answer to that first scaling problem is a really cool technology called curve trees. The easiest way to think about it is like zipping a huge file on your computer. It compresses all the data needed to prove a private transaction is valid, making it way smaller and faster to process. This means lower fees, less data to store, and a much more efficient network. You get to have privacy without sacrificing performance. Now for that second long-term threat, this timeline lays it out pretty clearly. We're heading for a major security showdown. The encryption that protects most of the internet, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, will one day be breakable by quantum computers. It sounds like sci-fi, but it's a real threat. The only way to deal with it is to start preparing for it right now, before it's an emergency.
And that's exactly what this roadmap does. It confronts that threat head-on. By building in quantum-resistant cryptography today, it ensures the network will be secure for decades to come. For investors, this is all about peace of mind, knowing your assets are actually safe from these next-generation attacks.
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground here, from user-friendly names to quantum-resistant security. So let's bring it all home and talk about the bottom line. What does all this mean for you as an investor?
The first thing to get is that this roadmap isn't just a list of cool new features. It's a strategic blueprint designed for long-term, sustainable growth and what's becoming a massive market for private and secure digital finance. It's a business plan for market leadership.
This table just lays it out so clearly. Every single innovation we talked about is purpose-built to solve a real market problem. You need usability and compliance? Spark names and view keys have you covered. You want private DeFi that can actually scale? That's what Spark Assets and Swap are for. And what about long-term performance and security? That's curve trees and quantum-resistant standards. It's the whole package.
So, what does this mean for your portfolio? Well, it means privacy is no longer some niche, nice-to-have feature. It's becoming a fundamental requirement for the entire decentralized economy. Investing in projects that have a clear, robust plan for a private and secure future isn't just about managing risk, it's about positioning yourself for potentially massive long-term growth.
And I think this quote just perfectly captures the opportunity here. In a market that moves as fast as crypto, the real winners aren't the ones who follow the herd. They're the ones who can see where things are headed and invest in the technologies that are actually building that future.
And if you take away one thing, let it be this. Terms like spark names, atomic swaps, and quantum resistance, they aren't just technical buzzwords. They are the foundational pillars of tomorrow's blockchain economy. They represent a fundamental shift towards a financial system that's more private, more secure, and finally, easy enough for everyone to use.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As the crypto market continues to mature, as it focuses more on real-world value, will privacy end up being the ultimate feature, the one thing that separates the winners from everyone else? That's a question every serious investor should be asking themselves right now.